of a lead, that goes away, you get back up, they sort of come back. What's this sort of wild ride a bit about your team, and what does it say that you find a way out?
I think the most important thing is this is the league. Like you say it's just us. I mean, this is what you have to manage over the course of 48 minutes. These are long games. The three-point shooting has changed things dramatically. You have to continue to grind and work the game and work on all the necessary things that put you in the best position to win. And we're able to do that in the second half. I mean, Terrence Ross was obviously exceptional. He and Duncan were putting on one of the best shooting displays in one game, probably all season that you've seen in this league. But the persistence and the grit that we showed in the second half was encouraging. How we started the game and in the first quarter, it wasn't quite inspiring, but we picked it up after that.
Understandably, you'll be biased, but there is no criteria when they send out the ballots for what the most improved player is. How strong a case has Duncan made for that? I mean, he's a guy that couldn't be here last year, and now you can't be without him.
It would, if you took a poll on NBA players and asked, who Duncan Robinson was coming into training camp, I would say probably 70% of the league didn't know who he was, and especially last year. I mean, Andre didn't know. He was in an NBA uniform last year, even though he was in Sioux Falls for part of it. I think it's really a remarkable story of persistence, and how much he's improved really is incredible. He should have had 10 threes tonight. David took away one of them. I told him that several times. But the degree of difficulty now in his movement, catch and shoot threes, is up there with anybody in this league, and his accuracy on those tough ones really is unique.
And to follow on the threes, I mean, I'm sure it falls under by any means necessary, but 22 being the franchise mark, and you needed every one of them. Did it surprise you that it took so long? I mean, in this NBA where every team is setting a team record, did it surprise you that it took this long to get there?
Well, part of it with a team like Orlando or even Milwaukee, that's what's available, and you have to be able to take those with confidence. Many of them were the shots right in our wheelhouse. So you might not have 40 plus 3-point attempts with some teams, but if you're really working the offense well against a team like this, I think it's almost required that you're going to have to shoot a bunch of them, and they're going to have to be the ones that you typically like. And we had the ball movement ones, the drive and kick ones, ones where they go under on a pick and roll, and our guys are able to step up and shoot.
Not just tonight, but you guys are one of the best 2-point shooting teams in the league. How much of a weapon has that become, especially around the skill sets of Bam and Jimmy, where you have those shooters that can shoot so efficiently from deep?
Yeah, it's important. It's like a symbiotic relationship, for those guys to be able to operate and attack and be able to be effective in the paint at the rim. They need space. Our guys provide that, and the spacing. The attackers' ability to draw extra defenders, which you saw tonight. Bam and Jimmy were both making great plays out of the paint, to open shooters. So it all works hand in hand.
Gouron's play, not only tonight, but just the consistency he has, one to the second unit, and just gives you the boost when maybe some other guys are off. How much does that mean to you?
Yeah, I think he's finding his rhythm now, right at the right time. He's in great shape and a great flow. Nobody's forgotten in this building that he's an all-star. And then you look at that second unit now, you just have a lot of veteran experience out there with Goran, Jay, Andre, KO. They're very comfortable and confident playing with each other.
What's standing out the most to you about KO and just what the stretch that he's put together? I mean, he's had some games with more minutes than others, but again tonight, giving you what he's
doing. This is who he was before. I mentioned this before. Let's not forget what he did last year or the year before, but particularly the stretch at the end of the year where he was starting, and he got hurt, and in late August, so things had to change, and he kept himself ready, and he gives us a skill set. It's not just the shooting, but you can play offense through him, and you put 3 other veteran, experienced, savvy players, around him to be able to make plays, and he fits right in.
Erik, 40 wins with 20 left, and you had to integrate a couple of guys here, and you're going to get a couple of guys back at some point. How close are you to having this team where you want it going into the playoffs?
I don't know. We'll have to, there's still plenty of time left. It's like when you start the season and you think about, when we get to the 20 game mark, you have an idea, a little bit of what direction your team is going, but it feels like that's going to be months away. It still feels like we have a lot of time before the playoffs. We have some ground to cover still. I want to see us get to another level of consistency. Where you saw it, the first 3 games, probably about 3.5 games since the Minnesota game that we've played at a high level of intensity and focus.
Did you consider fouling?
Yes. And I didn't think Derek fouled. I'll have to look at that.
I didn't mean to take. I meant
The last one.
the Gordon shot.
Oh, no, we didn't on that. In fact, the last words I'm not gonna say it. I said, don't do so-and-so last night. And they all said check, okay. But before that, we were willing to take one. And Derek ended up taking that, whether it was a foul or not. We would like to in a different circumstance, but it worked out. Okay, thanks.
Practicing.